What? It's a comic book. What? It's a comic book! It's a comic book! My kids love these things. I love them too.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports. Today, I'm not going to share with you a sports-related video. I'm going to share with you some comic books that I recently picked up. And I've had a lot of positive comments on some of my comic book videos that I posted in the past. Definitely check those out. I'll link them at the end of this video or down here at the bottom in the description. If you want to take a look at those, I definitely would appreciate it. But the reason I wanted to share these with you is with the upcoming release of the Marvel movie Morbius, I just wanted to say that Morbius is one of the comics that I've kind of been collecting off to the side, and it's not because of the movie release. I just kind of enjoyed reading the comic book from the mid-1990s. And part of the reason I picked these comics up was a little while back I picked up this collected edition of Vampire Tales Volume 3, and that is actually Blade on the cover. And Blade, I kind of enjoyed the movies back in the 90s, kind of got a little bit into the comic books, and I found this collected edition for a real cheap price. You know, they're $6.99 or something like that. So I picked it up, and this is actually Morbius on the back. So I started reading this. I started really kind of enjoying, you know, the early collected issues of Morbius. This is Vampire Tales issues 8 through 11, which to track those down would be a little expensive. So I thought for $7, I'll just buy this and I'll read it. Well, with the new release of the movie, as I mentioned, there was a Morbius comic book that came out in 2020. And I was able to actually find issues 1 through 5. And I'll show each one of them to you really quick here. And if you notice, these are actually the variant editions of that comic. And I'm not a big comic collector. You know, I don't buy comics to resell or, you know, try to invest in. I just buy them strictly for reading. And I really don't care a lot about variant issues versus standard editions or anything like that. If they're cheap enough, I buy them. And in this case, I actually was able to get the whole 5-issue miniseries for just like $12 shipped. So for, you know, less than $2 an issue, that's shipped to my door. And these are, you know, $4 cover price issues. On top of that, the variant edition, I was able to get all 5 of these comics, and I, you know, kind of jumped in and I read them. And I'm just going to open one issue up, and this is issue number 3. I'm not going to, you know, spoil the storyline or anything like that. But basically, as many of you know, Morbius is a Spider-Man character also. He showed up in some issues of Spider-Man in the, you know, the 1970s as well. And in this particular story run, Spider-Man makes an appearance in about the second or third issue, I don't remember which, but the gist of the story is Morbius, who's trying to cure his vampiric disease, as he calls it, thinks that Spider-Man's blood is the key to his success to reverse the vampirism in his body. So that's kind of the spoiler, I guess you would say, if you haven't read this yet. But as you can see, there's some really nice glossy photo. You know, this is a really nice comic book. You know, this is not like the 1990s comics where it's all newspaper print, basically. And as you can see, there's Spider-Man and the story arc that goes on there. So, as I said, not a bad purchase for only about $12 shipped. And again, this is an excellent book to pick up as well if you really enjoy Morbius. With the new movie coming out, you can get this really relatively cheap. Like I said, I paid $7 for it, and it's just a great read. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This real quick 5-minute, 6-minute video of me showing some comic books off. Tell me what you think. Again, I'm not an expert in Morbius comics, but I really enjoyed this story arc, and I also enjoyed reading this. So, happy collecting.
Look, you can't put the Superman number 77s with the 200s. They haven't even discovered red kryptonite yet. And you can't put the number 98 with the 300s. Lori Lamaris hasn't even been introduced.
Where the hell are you from? Krypton?